Hi everyone, welcome to All Four Queens. Hope you're doing well. If you're new to the channel, it's all about spiritual, I'd like to say not just spiritual warfare, but I started the channel when I was going through the eye of the storm. Now, it's not the first eye of the storm I've had, but this one was quite a big one from a generational curse perspective. And if you look at some of the other recordings, you'll see what I mean. Because obviously generational curse breaking is sort of like releasing and letting go. And sometimes that can be releasing and letting go of people closest to you that you didn't realise. That if you look at your astrology, sometimes all your houses, sometimes people that are very close to you are in your fourth house and they're your hidden enemies. So, but I'll do a separate one on that. So hopefully everyone understands that it's a spiritual channel. We talk about spiritual warfare. I don't really want to go too much into it, but I mean, I'm just going to do what I'm guided to do, and we're still in the eye of the storm, so it is what it is. Because obviously, with 2025, it's all about moving forward. However, it is year 9, and it is about release and let go. So we've done year 8, which was all about everything that was ever done, going back, and now people are sitting and having to reflect. And some are reflecting, some have probably, as I said in yesterday's recording, I think it was, some have realised that they were drawn into some very nefarious stuff, and hopefully they can learn to balance the light and the dark. We all carry light and dark, we all carry masculine and feminine, just depending on how we were raised. And I say that lightly because not everything is about how we're raised. Sometimes it's about relationships that we have, but depending on what we've been exposed to can determine the balance or the imbalance, for want of a better word. So there's also the empath and the narcissist dynamic really, and it's like, you know, the paradigm between the two. You know, the narcissist needs the empath because obviously they give, and the narcissist just takes and loves the energy and then just goes off and does its own thing. Obviously read up a little bit more about it. I'll try and do a bit more about it. What I didn't want to do, and I'm going to do something on this now, I didn't want to say the word narcissist. You know, I'm not an expert or in anything clinical. I've got a law degree, but I've not got a law, you know, I don't practice law. So anything like that you need more clarity on, medical, you know, diagnosis of things, please, you know, please check it out yourselves and go to the appropriate people. However, this is purely about experience. So before I get into it, I want to sort of ask the question: how many people were brought up with the words that children should be seen and not heard? How many people had heard that all the time as they were growing up? And that if you asked a question, you got a Z. You didn't really get the answer, you just got a Z. And there's a lot more. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more that people heard along the way. And if I can remember some of them, I'll put them in the box. But one of the biggest ones for me was always children should be seen and not heard. So I think that's sort of, in your early days, you probably don't realise it at the time, but in your early days, you don't realise what it is, but you just learn to become more malleable and controlled. But as you get older, you realise what you're dealing with. So you work to navigate around it. So why am I talking about this? So for me, you see a lot of stuff all over the internet around narcissism, borderline, psychopaths, sociopaths, and I ask the question whether or not all those things that are boxed up with a label, are they actually demonic possession? And why do I say that? Is because for me, and maybe it's because I am an empath, you know, highly intuitive empath, I can't understand why anyone would walk around and be able to create a narrative of, say, death magic without any remorse, without any compassion, without any feeling. So for me, I ask the question, have they gone that far down the rabbit hole and sold their souls that much they don't actually have a soul and they've actually become possessed? And why do I say that? Because if you look at Luke 4:33-35, he freed a man in the synagogue who was demon possessed. And obviously read the scripture, and I'll put a bit in the bottom. And then in 4:40 in Luke, it states that he cleared so many demons from people in his ministry. So when we look back at scripture and we look at how far that's come, and then we look at where we are today, you do have to ask yourself the question, is it actually a medical term that's just said on there, or is it actually what was all those years ago? And why do I say that? Because whilst the truth is always prevails and the truth be told, one also knows that once we tell the truth, it doesn't just stop there, does it? You know, the truth is, I mean, I think there's a part in the scripture that says, that God says, when you stand with him, you'll have enemies all over. Because the truth, because so many people have wrapped themselves up in so many lies throughout history, really, the truth is not just about those who own it and just want to react to it. It has a ripple effect on all those other people, some innocent and some not so innocent, who have also either conspired or got involved in something they didn't realise what they were getting involved in, but they become, you know, they either one become an enabler, or they become, you know, a conspiracy to it, because they've either taken something or had something from it. So for me, I question whether or not they are actually more possession rather than the clinical. Now, I mean, obviously that's up to you to decide, and I'm sure because of the people that are controlling my channel, they'll probably say no, but I would say that, you know, some of the things, and if you read what I wrote in the description box yesterday, you know, they have no remorse about targeting people and then just taking everything from them. There's no feeling there at all. So I asked the question, you know, what are we dealing with? So I just want to leave that with you for now, and obviously I'll put the scripture in the box, but obviously, you know, we need to be aware of it, you know, and, you know, we all say, if you're on the spiritual journey, if you believe in higher beings of the light, then there's got to be higher beings of the dark, isn't there, which we talk about, the forces and the principalities. So yeah, I just wanted to put it out there as a bit of a starter, not to be negative for 2025, but just to have an awareness, really. You know, there are all sorts of entities and you know, beings out there that, you know, some of us know about, some of us don't. And obviously, like I said, I've come to the caravan park, and, you know, some of them have trapped on here, and, you know, I can feel some of the things they're doing. And someone's obviously been in the caravan and done stuff around, because I can see this, I can see them, the spirits, you know, I see them. So and I will probably post some on there so that, you know, see whether you see what I see. But yeah, so interesting times, and as time goes on, I think as more people elevate and become more aware and more awakened, and don't necessarily just take what people are saying, but use your intuition, do a bit more meditation, go within, you'll start to see things yourself, and use your, you know, you'll start to get your own psychic gifts as well. So hopefully we can move forward from that. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there, see what you think, and then I'll see you on the next one. Loving you loads, sending you light, healing, love, harmony and peace. See you later. Bye.